Welcome, everybody. This is day 23 of our Summer Reading Regatta. Tonight is Memoir night. We're going to have three really talented authors and a special guest artist, cover designer, that I know all of you are going to be really excited to talk with. As I say, we're doing Memoir. This is day 23. I think we only have 6 events left in the month. So, help out your authors. Tell them who sent you when you sign up for the next 6 legs. Sailor Shore School, it's a wacky little workshop program we're running. Andrew, would you like to tell everybody about this?
You didn't say it fast enough. You actually got it out right this time. It's okay. Hey, everybody. We've had a great month so far and had 3, yes, that's right, count them, 3 Sailor Shore Schools with Carolyn Topperman, Views Port and Starboard, where we learned a lot about observation and technique, and it was a really, really awesome presentation. Kate McNeil gave us all hands on deck and exceeded her previous presentation back in February about street and launch teams, and there's a lot of useful information in there. And D.A. Reed gave us You Had Me at the Hook with a series of exercises that got us closer and closer to writing that perfect line that when people pick up and read that first line of your book that they'll never want to put it down. All those have passed. They are available for a $10 replay fee, and you can download the video and the transcript for that $10 fee. We have 2 more coming up. One is Weapons in Fiction on the 27th. That's this Sunday, Shots Across the Bow, and it'll be a fully interactive group meeting where we'll talk about weapons and how to write them better in fiction. And then on the 28th, Brent Seth and Christopher Gare, Land Ho on world building. I do need to make a note on my Andrew Smith, that's me, on my presentation on the 27th. Do consider that PG-13. We may be talking about sensitive subjects, and you probably should think about children or others and how you want to approach that. Those are still $5, and you can attend for only $5 and get your download long-term and a transcript. It's cheap at 10 times the price. You'll get lots of fun out of it. I hope to see you there at the last 2. And if you haven't been able to attend, the other 3 are an amazing purchase.
Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate all that. Again, you can go to our website at pagespromotions.com. Just click on the links. It says Summer Book Festival Race Leg Replays, and you can get all the links to those workshops. And you can get all the links to the past race legs that we've had as well. Those race leg links are free. So tonight we're going to be talking to 3 wonderful authors. We're going to start out with Mr. Dennis Mellen, who wrote a great memoir called Takes More Than Heart. Dennis is brand new to our community, and we are really happy to welcome him. Thank you so much, Dennis, for reaching out and joining us on this super wacky thing we're doing.
Thanks very much for the opportunity. I appreciate being here.
It's a lot of fun. I love meeting new authors. I especially enjoy memoir because we get to know more about the authors themselves and about their life's journey. So that's always exciting for me. Harkens back to listening to my grandfather tell stories about when he was growing up. And I think that's what storytelling really is it's just conveying life experience. So thank you very much for being here. I would love it if you could give us the backstory about a little bit about who you are and how you started writing, please.
Well, it's been a little bit of a journey over a 12-year period. 12 years ago, I was an airline pilot, happy-go-lucky, looking to be a professional pilot for the rest of my life. And at age 56, I ended up having a heart attack and losing my medical. I went from one day being up at cruise altitude over Eugene, Oregon, and looking down going, hey, look at all those people down there. And of course, they're sitting on the ground looking, hey, look at all those guys up there. I wonder what they're doing. And, thinking, I'm on top of the world. I'm actually making this hard job look a little bit easy. And then the very next day, everything changed. So I'm a retired airline pilot, retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel, spent 20 years in the Air Force, and had to make a lifestyle change due to the heart attack.
Sure. No, I understand. And kudos to you for picking up a new career path. I'm super curious. I'm a military nut. I'm deaf in one ear, so I wasn't able to enlist, and I really, 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 really wanted to enlist. So I'm curious about the most impressive aircraft you flew in the military.
Well, I was on the heavy side. I flew a KC-10, which is the tanker version of a DC-10. It can I've flown it as much as 17, almost 18 hours. It can carry something like 66,000 gallons of fuel and offload fuel to fighters and other airplanes, and take on fuel.
So you did midair fueling then?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that's so cool. That's amazing. Thank you very much for that. At some point, I would love to be able to chat with you more about your military career, because like I said, I'm a little bit of a nut that way. But tonight we're going to talk about your book, Takes More Than Heart. Can you give us a little bit of the backstory of how this book came about and what it's about?
Well, it's probably going to allude a little bit to what you guys are doing with your workshops. I think over the last 12 years, I kept a journal of little anecdotes, things that happened. And by the way, a journal to a guy is a guy talk for a diary, but I kept.
I call it a journal too. It's okay.
Yeah, okay. So as I started, the pandemic hit, and I thought, well, let me sit down and start writing. Somebody had convinced me that I needed to write this story. And I got to the point where I had, wow, I've got 10, 15, 20,000 words. How do I fill this out? And I said, well, let me go look at that journal. And all of a sudden, I looked at it and said, this segment fits, and that segment fits there, and this. And all of a sudden, I start filling out a complete book. Sent it to a few editors to make it take it out of Dennis speak and put it into something that people would understand. Thank you to my editors for that, by the way. And,
absolutely, we could not live without our editors.
No, that's for sure. There's a lady, Courtney Donaldson, that's really helped me out a lot. She does. I'll give her a shout out. She does the online girl magazine. And,
I'm always happy to hear shout outs to editors. It's what I do for a living, so good for you.
Good. Well, maybe I can use you sometime. Who knows?
I'd love that. I'd love to write a military memoir with you. We should talk about that. Okay, so what is the piece that you're going to read for us tonight?
Well, it's kind of the prelude to the recovery. It's the actual incident itself, and the first few hours, first few days afterwards. It kind of in chronological order, with a little bit of my own homespun humor put into it, I think. So
awesome. Okay, whenever you're ready, sir, please take the helm and read.
All right. Well, I slowly awake from a wine-induced stupor, what feels like a wine-induced stupor, to face a bright shining light directly in my face. As I open my eyes to focus, I'm thinking, could the lights be any brighter? Am I being interrogated by the FBI or the police? What did I do? As if on cue, my eyes come into focus, and I lock eyes with my brother standing over me with tears streaming down both his cheeks. I smile, I say, hey, butthead. He laughs and says, Dennis, you had us so scared. A vague memory comes to mind of mountain biking on a trail aptly named in the trail guide as It's a Bitch. The trail description reads, the first trail to the larger trail system is called It's a Bitch. IAB lives up to its name as you bike and hike 1 mile and gain 500 feet. But once at the top, there are no more big climbs. The trails are all rolling fun and technical. The Ironman portion seems to be that first mile or so, decked out in fairly conservative black with blue striped bike shorts, a black dry fit shirt, black helmet, and gray bike shoes. I'm not one of those bikers festooned as Nino Balducci from the Italian biking team. Have you seen some of those guys and what they wear? I mean, Mardi Gras outfits are more conservative. Reaching the trailhead, I pass some of the King County Park System's yurts used for camping. I make a reference for a future camping trip possibility. Even though my wife's idea of camping is a 3-star hotel, but maybe my sons might be interested. The initial climb isn't too steep, but it's uphill. The yurt area is clear and the foliage neatly trimmed back, but the beginning point of IAB is not readily apparent. After a couple of fruitless sallies into dead ends behind several yurts, I spy the trail leading off to the north with a long, steady climb under some very tall, 150-foot tall Douglas firs and verdant undergrowth. I think the last time I used the word verdant was studying for the SATs, but I digress there a little. The forest canopy is thick, blocking a lot of the sunlight with bright yellow shafts of light streaming through intermittently. The trail is wet and filled with wet pine needles, looking like a scene from Star Wars, and any minute I'm expecting a speeder to come alongside with a stormtrooper or maybe even Luke Skywalker at the wheel. On the next switchback, the trail changes dramatically and I'm forced to the lowest gear. My speed drops to that of a circus performer riding a unicycle. I can feel my lungs burn, but I'm loving it because of the challenge. To jump off the bike and walk? Well, that's for wieners. Today, I'm determined to make it nonstop to the top of IAB as the steepness lessens for about a quarter of a mile, leading westward away from the edge of the hill. A drink of water would be nice, I think, but that would require a stop. But who am I racing? There's nobody else on the trail. They're all working today, and I'm a lucky, healthy airline pilot with a FAA Class 1 physical under my belt. I round a curve near the top, and I'm working myself very hard. My breath comes in uncontrolled gasps and then uncontrollable huffs, but I'm almost to the top. No time to let up now. Only a less manly man would do that. I feel the sweat sweeping down my back, bringing waves of wetness. Sweat is dripping from my eyebrows, from my wrists. My gloves are soaked. I can see a clearing ahead and blue sky above. Maybe I should take a water break. Maybe I should sit down and look across the valley to the river below. After all, the trail description says it's only a mile and 500-foot climb, and I'm almost there anyway. Nobody will know I rested. I stop, swing my leg over the rear wheel, take a couple of steps. Man, I need to sit down. Finding a log, I let my bike fall over and I settle on a mossy black tree trunk, cradling my chin in my hands, my elbows on my knee. For some reason, I have this urge to lay down. Nearby voices are saying something unintelligible. I roll to my knees and promptly projectile vomit the contents of my stomach and quite possibly pass out. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. The main gist of this story continues from one day being literally on top of the world as a 30-year plus professional pilot through the devastating loss of my pilot's license. A story not about poor me, look what happened to me, but rather the search for a new purpose, my new why. After all, I was only 56 and it's not time for Geezerville. Geezerville defined as sitting in a Barker lounger with a cool drink watching Oprah reruns or something. But my search might help others with similar life-threatening events, a life-changing medical emergency, a season or career-ending athletic injury, or a business failure. WIN, what's important now? Fall down 7 times, get up 8 times are themes throughout, and maybe, just maybe, I can tell a compelling story, a page turner, Takes More Than Heart, Changing the Journey's Challenges into Opportunities by Dennis Mellen. If you want a signed copy, leave your contact in the chat and I'll get back with it, or you can pick it up from the usual vendors, Friesen Press, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Nook, eBooks. But thank you. I appreciate the time.
Thank you. What a great read. Okay, I got to ask you, somebody else mentioned tonight your wonderful conversational reading style. So that begs the question, how many times have you rehearsed this day?
Well, I'll tell you what, I rehearsed it a few times, but I give some signature speeches and keynote speeches sometimes, and I use portions of it. But I find that if I rehearse it too much, it ends up being stilted. You know, it doesn't come out natural. It's not a conversation.
Well,
but thanks you. I appreciate the compliment. Yeah.
Yeah, this is absolutely wonderful. I'm looking forward to reading this book. You've already hooked me. You know, we were just talking with Deborah in her workshop about hooks and how important it is to catch people in the first few minutes. And I think you've definitely done that tonight. So thank you for a wonderful read. Very nice.
Well, thank you, Diane. I appreciate it.
So any questions from the Harbor crew? Go ahead, Andrew.
Well, I mean, first question in just briefly, obviously, but at the time, as you were writing, you were having an event, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I was. It was a heart attack.
Okay.
And it's a pretty interesting story from there. The EMTs had to hump about 100 pounds of equipment up the same trail that I'd struggled on. Once they got me on that portable gurney, they had to stop like 25 times between there and the hospital to restart my heart, and another 20 times in the ER. So I'm very
Wow.
lucky to be here.
Yeah, and we are very lucky you are here.
Yes,
Andrew, did you have
that's what I
did
was
you
just
have
gonna
a
say.
follow-up, Andrew? It looked like you had another question on the tip of your beard.
I've got all sorts of questions, but I mean, and we won't go into the whys and wherefores. But afterwards, did they have to do a bypass, or did they have to just go in and stretch it out a little?
Well, by stretching it out, yeah, that's what they did. They ended up putting over the course of a few months, I had a stent put in initially, and then I had another one put in later on. But unfortunately, you can recover from a heart attack and still fly. But unfortunately, my heart was damaged so much that I now have a portable AED and pacemaker that I carry around inside my left
So you
chest.
have an intracardiac defibrillator?
I do.
So
Wow.
okay.
I can't spell ICD. I'm glad you used the words for me.
I used to do studies on them.
Did you really? Yeah.
On the Guidant and Medtronic ICDs.
Well, that's what I initially had, was a Medtronic. I've got a Boston Scientific now. Supposedly, if it happens again, God forbid, I've got a 95% chance of surviving because of the shock capability. So good.
Absolutely amazing where technology has taken us today. It's pretty incredible. Both
Yeah.
Christopher and Kate work in healthcare, and I know that they're stunned and staggered by your story as well. Does anybody else have questions before we move on?
Kate does.
Go, Kate.
No
Kate.
way. Kate does not have any questions whatsoever. Oh, Lord. Okay, Christopher's been talking me down, but no, oh my goodness. To come down from a career like that, first of all, holy moly. First question, do you channel having an experience, or excuse me, a career like that into your books? And number two, because I'm going to go there. Ready? You ready, Diana? You
Go.
ready?
We're running out of time. Go.
Yeah, I thought so. Pants or plotter?
What? What'd you
Okay,
say?
so in the writing world, we have pantser or plotter. Do you write by the seat of your pants as it comes to your brain, or do you plan it out, plot it out ahead of time?
A lot of it is from the seat of my pants. There were times I woke up in the middle of the night with an idea, and I'd go back to sleep and I'd forget it. So I started getting up and I'd write for 3-4 hours, and all of a sudden, here it is, 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, and I go, holy crap, I'm not going to get any sleep again. So yeah, it's compelling, isn't it? When you get an idea.
Absolutely,
It has to
and
get
it
out.
happens to all of us. So here's a question I think that Kate was getting at, and I'm going to try and concise it. How much of the discipline of being in the military were you able to cross over into the discipline of writing?
Wow, it's like left side, right side brain stuff. There is some crossover there, and typically we look at military guys as only being left brain, but there's some tremendously talented right brain people and actually some of the most successful generals have been the right brain, the ones that are creative and think
Sure.
outside the box. So yeah, I would
Well,
say you'll have to do both.
They're strategists. I think that requires creative thinking.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So someday, Dennis, you and I, we're going to get on Zoom. We're going to have a military conversation. I wish we had more time for it tonight, but I just don't.
As long as we can partake,
please?
yeah, as long as we can partake of some adult beverages along with it, I'm fine.
Absolutely, no question.
You have to invite Kate and I.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Yes.
just because this is toward the end of the month, I just want to remind you, and you haven't been with us yet, so we're kind of, what's the word? hazing you?
Yeah,
A little
well, you
bit
should.
tonight?
It took me until Sunday to figure out what was going on. So,
So
Look what
mark
I
your
say to
calendar.
Christopher in public. Look what I say to Christopher in public.
oh yeah, no.
That's
So
just
mark your calendar for June 30th. Come back and join us for the Venetian wrap party on June 30th, which is at 7 o'clock. That's going to be a blast. So
Okay.
come on back for that.
All right, I'll be happy to.
And anything in between, feel free.
All
right.
Cool.
So moving on, I'm sorry, we are running short
that's
on
okay.
time, but we are definitely going to connect. Absolutely. So everybody, this is Dennis's book. So you can find it in our Harbor Store, and Kate will talk about the Harbor Store in a little bit. But next we're going to move over to Michael Beardslee and his book, which is Bad Hombre, White Lake Road. Michael is a now veteran of our program. He has been here with us before, so he kind of knows the drill a little bit. Michael, welcome back. We're happy to have you. No, your microphone, Michael. Got to turn the mic back on. There you go.
That?
Perfect. Now we can hear you. Welcome back.
Yeah, very happy to be back.
So for people who haven't heard you read your book before or are meeting you for the first time like Dennis, could you tell us a little bit about the backstory for this book before you begin reading?
Thousands of years ago, I read a book called Instant Replay. It was written by Jerry Kramer, former Green Bay Packer offensive lineman, and he kept a diary of a 1967 football season. I liked that so much that I kept, as Dennis said, a journal, not a diary, a journal, but for the 1969-70 school year. And so that is what Bad Hombre and other articles or other books are about. It's basically, with some twists and turns, what happened during my senior year of high school. Enough unique things that happened then that I thought it was good to put down on paper. And so I've been writing this story since August 1969.
Wow.
And
I know
that's how I arrived here.
So this is book one. How many more books are there?
There will be a total of 20.
Wow. And how many have you written so
what
far?
I've done is I've got 4 done, 5's on the way.
Awesome.
So you ask if I write from the seat of the pants or a plotter. Yeah,
yep.
I'm a plotter. I
Good
don't
for
move
you.
real fast, but I plug away.
Awesome. Yeah, okay, so Dennis, if you're not familiar, this is a constant rivalry we have between plotters and pantsers. I'm a passionate plotter. The others in the room tonight are all pantsers. So that's what this craziness is about, if you're wondering. Michael, can you give us a little setup for the piece that you're going to read tonight?
What the title of this segment is August 1969, Decision Made +1. And due to the millages that were failing at the high school I was going to attend, they were going to drop athletics, band, sports, choir, things like that. And the decision in my family was that I could attend another high school. And so this segment tonight will show us what high school I will be attending and how that decision came apart. So that's what's going to happen here. So it's just a continual segment, and we'll figure out where I'm going to spend my senior year of high school.
Excellent. Okay, when you are ready, sir, please take the helm and read.
Here we go. To say the least, this impending decision facing me, I did not sleep much at all the entire night. When I woke up this morning, however, I had my mind officially made up. While eating a breakfast of oatmeal with an estimated 6 pounds of brown sugar added to the main dish, and promptly washing it down with a glass or two of Elsie the cow cold milk, I advised my mother I was going to stay at Fenton High School and graduate as a Fenton Tiger. I saw the hurt and simultaneous sadness in my mother's eyes. But I could not just see myself ever setting foot inside a parochial school other than for a dire need to use a bathroom or to get out of a torrential rainstorm, in that order. In addition to the wounded look on my mother's face, you could also tell that my decision to pass up the opportunity to do the things that I enjoyed most in life, specifically in reference to band and athletics, to actually attend a high school that would not allow me the opportunity to participate in either activity, was to say the least, an Amelia Earhart type of mystifying to her. I spent the rest of the day laying real low in what is known to many Fenton High School senior band members as Beardslee's infamous barn. Things were quite coolish between my mother and myself for the next few days, until one Saturday evening while the Beardslee family was eating supper, my father suggested as an alternative that Heartland High School would be a good place for me to attend school this year. That made total sense. For years, I had taken private trumpet lessons from the high school band director, Mr. Granderson. I also knew some of the Heartland kids from either Interlochen or past catechism classes. Plus, my mother was a former teacher in the Heartland Consolidated School District. So it wasn't like I would be walking into a brand new school district with no past history. Also, from a pure travel standpoint, it wasn't too bad a drive from White Lake Road to Heartland, Michigan. After hearing my father's proposal, both my mother and I stopped with our forks in mid-bite and looked at each other. While we both still wanted our own way, our eye contact pretty much cemented the fact that this was an excellent compromise. A decision was reached. I was going to spend my senior year of high school as a Heartland Eagle. The official start of the school year is getting closer and closer, just being 1 week away. After the decision for me to attend Heartland Consolidated Schools, however, further developments started to take place in the Beardslee household. The first event was surprising. I'm not too sure what caused this occurrence to take place, but I'm sure glad it's being set in motion. I was not going to be the only member of my family to continue their high school education at a new scholastic institution. Shockingly, my younger sister, Katie, decided to attend Heartland High School this year as well. Now, let me take a second to define just how astonishing this decision actually is. There is no other student in the history of the 90-plus years of Fenton High School's existence that loves that place more than my sister. She absolutely cannot get enough of that school. Now, you have to realize that my sister does not simply enjoy life. She attacks it at the speed of sound. In this past year, she was a freshman class vice president, an extremely active member of the student council, played timpani in the senior band, and tenor drum in the marching band. Plus, found time to run the 1 mile event in track. Other than my efforts as a trumpet player and extremely active participation in band, everything in life I pale miserably to Katie. I know that for a fact, because this is what she has advised me at least twice a day for the past 10 years. That's what made her decision for her to accompany me to Heartland High School so confusing. My sister is a very goal-oriented person and has always planned out her remaining 3 years at Fenton High School. These goals include being a top 10 graduate in her future senior class, student council president, and officer in both band and choir. And I can guarantee you this, the Heartland Consolidated Schools won't even know what hit them once she sets foot on their school grounds. I do wonder, however, what my mother promised her to give up life as a Fenton High School student. I suspect that this means that Katie will now get her way and attend her dream school of Colorado University in Boulder, Colorado, rather than attending a college closer to her home per my mother's wishes. Am I glad that Katie will be attending Heartland High School this year with me? Yes, I am. But make no ifs, ands, buts about it, no matter what high school the two of us ever attend together, Katie is not my younger sister. No, I'm her brother, and I have come to the conclusion that it is my official title in life, Katie Beardslee's brother. Katie's friends, and there's a million of them out there, probably don't even realize I have a first name of Mike. No, whenever Katie's friends see me, they shout out, "Hey, there's Katie Beardslee's brother." Someday my tombstone will have an engravement that reads, "Here lies Katie Beardslee's brother. First name unknown." And that's it.
Well done. Well done. I can certainly commiserate with that sentiment. I went through life being the daughter, so I definitely got it. Good job. So just give us a little bit of a sprinkling of what the rest of the books, you say you have 5, what are the rest of the books kind of touching on? What are some of the common themes within these books? I mean, aside from your life growing up.
Volume 1 takes place September 1962, and every month there's a new volume. Volume 2 is October. Volume 3 is November. I can go slower if you guys want, but that is what that's going to be. It talks about specific events that changed my life, where I changed my life in the point of where I went to school, where places that I worked. So it did have an impact on decisions that I made, shocking.
Yeah, she likes that.
But each month there's going to be each volume with different month and different battles, issues.
So when you were going back
that I
over
had to
your
face.
journals to write the books, what was one of the most surprising things that were locked in your written word that you didn't expect? What was one of those surprising moments where you went, oh yeah, now I remember this?
What happens, Diana, is that I would remember something and it would trigger other events. I was shocked at how when I write something about a specific event, there's a snapshot in my mind. I can visually actually see and remind myself of that scene. The hard part about this, because it's time specific, genre specific, I have to be careful that I don't mention movies or that weren't produced yet. The Godfather, I can't use that in here. I use other movies as comparisons.
Sure.
I don't know if anyone ever remembers the Bill Kennedy show. I had to make
Oh,
sure
yeah.
that he was on at that time.
Mhm.
So that's I was surprised how much research went into it.
That's really interesting that research
Hopefully
goes
that
into a
answers-
memoir. Yeah, I think that's a cool concept. Andrew, you had a question.
Yeah, I just find it fascinating because, the mind's a tricky thing, and one trigger can add to another trigger, which can add to another trigger. So, as you're internally researching this or reliving a memory, do you suddenly decide, or as this started, did you suddenly decide, well, I need to add more to the previous because now I remember more about that? Or is it compartmentalized that it grows only in that current volume?
I'll take a specific event, Andrew, and from there start to jazz it up and expand on it. For example, in real life, I don't have a younger sister at all, but I needed a character that would fit in for what I wanted. So
Okay.
that was a little tricky. I had to create, and through this book, I've had to create personalities. That maybe not a big shock to you guys when you do it, but for me, I had to create a lot of backstory,
Sure. And that's
history of people who were in high school that I did not know.
yeah,
Diana, go ahead.
yeah, the technique of creative nonfiction, which is essentially what you're writing, filling in the gaps of a true story with some fiction, that's a tricky line to walk because you have to make sure that all the true stuff still stays true, right? Christopher.
I'm very curious, has anyone who grew up with you at that time, have you gotten any feedback from them? Have they read it? Have they responded to it? And what have you heard back from them? I'm real curious about that.
Oh, you have to turn your microphone back on again, Michael.
In real life, Christopher, I never went to Hartman High School. I graduated Fenton. I included a lot of Fenton buddies in there. And the feedback that they got was, you turned everything upside down. How come you're not writing about Fenton? How come you're writing about going to a different high school? They're in a different high school. They're in a different band. They're in a different basketball team. So to them, it was upside down. It didn't make sense to them. They got used to it, but it caught them off guard.
Sure.
Okay.
I can definitely see that. Thank you, Michael, for sharing with us tonight. And I'm so glad that you're a returning author
Hey,
and
no,
that you
thank
came back
you.
to join us again. Here is Michael's book again, this is Bad Hombre, White Lake Road. Check that out again in our Harbor Store catalog, which we'll tell you about shortly. Now we're going on to our final author tonight, D.A. Reed. We know her as Deborah because she is part of our family here. She's on the Harbor crew, but tonight she has a special guest she brought along. This is Malerie Zupin, and Malerie did the artwork for this book cover, which I think is beyond fascinating. And we're going to talk with Malerie in just a minute after we hear Deborah read a little bit. But Deborah, thanks again for joining us. I'm so glad. Every opportunity I have to promote your work makes me really happy.
Aw,
I'm about 3/4 of the way through this book, and I'm equal parts giggling and equal parts in awe. So there you go.
Okay.
Where did you get the idea? I don't want you to reveal the title and why the title, because I think the story that you tell in the book is really great, unless that's the piece you're going to read tonight.
It's
if it
not,
is.
no.
Okay. So let that be the mystery. But where did you get the idea to write this book?
Actually, I think it was Luba, one of the other authors in this group.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, because we were talking so much about, the young adult that I write, and a lot of them are more serious topics. And then I write thrillers, which can go kind of dark. And then, of course, I write short psychological horror stories, which can be really dark. And I think it was Luba during one of the meetings just said, you know what, you should write something funny sometime because your Facebook posts just crack me up all the time. And I was just kind of like, oh, ha, 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 okay. And then I mentioned it to my husband. And he's like, oh, yeah, totally. Like Musings of the Overcaffeinated Housewife or something. And I was like, huh. And it just kind of got that idea percolating. And so, so here we are with this.
Yay! I'm so excited. It really is a great book. For those of you who haven't picked it up yet, it is very new. When did it come out?
June 1st.
Okay, so it's super new. If you haven't picked it up yet, you really should. It's a super fun read. I'm reading it while I'm doing my indoor exercise bike thing, and it's making it so enjoyable. It's really nice. Would you read a little bit for us, and then we'll have our conversation with Malerie?
Yes, I will. I'm just going to read one short one.
Okay.
Because I know that we're just kind of short. We're watching time and everything.
Yep.
But
thank you.
So this little excerpt is called "Just Stop Talking." Have you ever tried to do something nice only to have it backfire? We probably all have at some point. Where else would the phrase "no good deed goes unpunished" come from? Hold my coffee, because I'm about to make you feel a whole lot better about your backfired good deed with my own epic fail at being nice. And it takes a lot of talent to fail at being nice. Granted, there was a language barrier in play, but still, smiles are universal. So is a gentle tone, usually, just not on the day of my epic fail. I was in Sharjah, part of the United Arab Emirates, for their annual book festival, which was a big deal. I was blessed with being able to teach creative writing workshops to the children of Sharjah, which I managed to do without any mishaps due to the language barrier, so that makes what I'm about to tell you worse on so many levels. Adults should be able to figure this stuff out, right? I admit that the language barrier was intimidating. I was thankful to have my friend Anne-Marie by my side, who had been there twice before, and many English-speaking people guiding us through the airport, to our hotel, and during the check-in process. I'd been fully prepared to avoid conversation at all cost with everyone but the children. But the ease with which the initial 24 hours in Sharjah played out made me feel confident. Anne-Marie and I had the first day free to relax and adjust to the massive time difference. We decided to go to the hotel pool. On the way to said pool, we passed a woman who wore a beautiful royal blue cover-up over her swimsuit. This is where my confidence led me astray. Smiling, I said, "I like your cover-up." The lady immediately stopped and looked down, her expression horrified as she began checking to make sure she was covered up. Feeling terrible that she misunderstood, I said again, "I like your cover-up. It's beautiful." She became more frantic, her hands pulling at the fabric to make sure she was decent. "No, I love your cover-up." I reached out a hand, touching the fabric near her shoulder. "It's beautiful." It didn't matter how many times I said it, the poor woman didn't understand and was convinced she was flashing the entire hotel. Finally, I decided it was best to cut and run. Throwing another smile in her direction, I went one way and she went the other, both of us completely flustered. That was so embarrassing, I whispered to Anne Marie as we entered the pool area. Yes, Anne Marie said in her quiet, demure way. We have also learned that talking louder does not make us more easily understood. Staring at my friend in horror, I realized that every time I tried to reassure the woman, I had raised my voice as if that would make it easier for her to understand me. Mortified, I groaned, "Oh, I hope I never see her again." "Oh, you will," my dear friend assured me with a mischievous smile. "Probably every day." She was right. Every day. I saw that woman every day. But you know what? I didn't let it stop me. I talked with the children of Sharjah and I laughed with them. I smiled at their parents and had conversations with them. I smiled at the security guard outside the workshop rooms until he finally smiled back. It might have been the last day of a week and a half venture, but it happened. And that trip was one of the best of my life. Did I break into a sweat before every conversation? Quite possibly. But I did it anyway and was rewarded with friendships and experiences that are once in a lifetime. Not every good deed or nice action will flourish, but don't let that stop you. Don't give up, ever.
Well done. Thank you very, very much. I loved reading this piece. I was giggling out loud, and I'm sure my husband thought I had lost my mind. It was so wonderful. And how comforting to know that there's another soul on the planet who makes the same dumb mistakes I make.
Oh my gosh, this is like a whole list of my dumb mistakes.
But I'm really enjoying it. Thank you
I'm glad.
for helping me to feel less, dumb.
Anything for you, Diana.
I appreciate that. Before we get to Malerie, go ahead, Kate.
No, it's just a comment. It's not even a question. Just thank you for giving us a reason or something to fall back on as dumb Americans. You always hear that though, that Americans are, well, they're these loud gauche types. Oh no, we're just friendly.
We're just trying to be friendly.
Yes, thank you. And I enjoyed that so much. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
We're just
Andrew.
misunderstood.
What?
Yeah, we are.
Just misunderstood.
Oh, yes, obviously.
Christopher.
Just one quick question. Were there any stories that you didn't put in there because you thought, oh God, there's no way I could admit that?
No, I laid it all out there.
She pretty much does. She's
And
pretty
more
much
things.
opened her skin and let us inside her soul in this book. It's really quite lovely.
And there's going to have to be a second one because, like, even Mallory and I mean, I know, like, we passed the cat through the thing because we're actually in the same room here. But Mallory and I were sitting here and we're like, why can't we get her logged on? Why can't we get her logged on? Matt, and, I'm calling my husband. I'm yelling for him. I'm like, you got to help us. We need your computer, something. And he comes in and he's like, did you put her on the Wi-Fi? And we're both like,
Oops.
So, I mean, there's just so much more that I could put in another book.
Well, sure. And you're not even halfway through your life yet. So
I know, yeah.
there's a lot more material coming down the pipe.
And I'm giving Mallory lots of fodder for, like all these drawings that she's going to do. I mean, she can just do, me and all the craziness of my life.
So thank you for that segue. Hey, Mallory, turn on your microphone, my dear.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. I'm so glad you were
Hi.
able to join us tonight. This is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
We don't normally get to speak with cover art designers. I wish we could talk with more of them, and for some reason, they don't come to our silly little festivals. So we're really happy to have you here. Good job, Deborah. So I have so many questions, and especially because you're in 8th grade, right?
I'm going into ninth grade. I'll be a freshman this upcoming year.
So you're a teenager. You are cover designing for books. I hear this sneaky rumor. Maybe I heard it incorrectly. Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't you have a gallery opening coming up soon?
It's already ended, sadly.
Okay.
Yep. It was May 22nd is when it opened up. Deborah, she's showing off one of the pieces she bought. Yeah, actually, when she asked me to do the book cover, she also asked for some like other drawings just to have or whatever to support me. I made a drawing of Hedwig the owl from Harry Potter for her daughter Emma, and then she asked me to do a caricature of her in like kind of capture what it's like to be an author, and I made 3 because my mom told me to. She was like 3, and I'm like, okay, that works. So
That's awesome. Wow.
and it was because of that triplet of drawings of different emotions that the art gallery noticed me, and they were like, hey, we want to feature your art in our gallery. And I was like, sure, what are the requirements? And they were like, 10 to 15 pieces in 2 months. It was stressful, but I did it.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's very, very cool. I am super impressed with your talent. I do have a question about your process though. Do you do your art in digital or on analog, paper, pencil, paint? Talk a little bit about your process and how you create.
Well, I try to diverse in all the mediums I like work with. Like I'm always like on the internet looking through Instagram at all these cool pictures and drawings, and I'm like, what materials are they using? And then I find the materials and then I purchase them and then I like test them out myself. So for the book cover, I made it digitally, but I actually came over to her place and like discussed like, what do you want the book cover to be like? And another funny story you could add to a sequel for the book is how I brought all like everything I needed. I brought my whole tablet and everything. I was ready to go, and I didn't bring my drawing pen, so I couldn't use any of my stuff. So
So hold on here. But the really cool thing though was because of that, I got to see her do it as she was talking to me. So she literally pulled out paper and pencil. And as we were talking, she started just sketching stuff. And it was amazing.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. When we non-artistic people get to watch you actually create, that's a very cool thing. That's awesome. So one of the questions in the chat was, Malerie, how did you meet Deborah? How did that happen?
So her daughter, Emma, is best friends with my brother. So
okay. So that's how that happened.
Yeah. So naturally, like my mom and her mom, well, my mom and Deborah, they became friends and they got to know each other. And really, I didn't know Mrs. Reed for like that well because it was my brother's friend, not really my friend. I'm older than my brother, so I didn't really know much about what was happening and everything. But I think our families kind of grew closer beginning since this year in school, the most recent year in school, all that COVID stuff was going on, and we didn't want to take the buses because of that. So
sure,
my brother was still going to the elementary and I was going to the middle school, which started earlier. So we would drop him off here to hang out at their place before school started, and then they would walk to school. So we naturally like got to know each other more and all that. And then just cool. one day my mom was like, hey, Mrs. Reed wants you to draw her some stuff. And as soon as I heard that, she never mentioned the book cover yet. She was just like, what do you pay for commissions and stuff? As soon as I heard that, I was like, what if she wants me to make a book cover? And I was like internally freaking out, like, oh, this would be cool. And it happened. So
that's very cool. So there's a question in the chat too. Is there a place where we can see your art and maybe buy some of it for our own walls? Do you have a website yet?
No. We started making one, me and my mom, but we never got around to finishing it because I had to work on the show.
Okay.
So
here's the deal I want you to make with me. When you get a website up and people can start buying your art, will you please make sure that we get a link so we can post it on our Facebook page?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Very cool. That would be super fun. Wow. This has been a great night. What a wonderful opportunity to meet a young artist. You're so talented. You're so gifted. I hope that you continue to do art, and I hope that you continue to do book covers. And I hope that when authors come to you and ask you to do book covers, you charge them.
I do. I mean,
Thank
well, that was the thing before I started like selling my art. Like all these kids in my classes and stuff, they would be like, "Whoa, your art is so cool. Can you draw something for me?" And they would be like, "I would pay you," but I would always be like, "No, it's fine. I can give it to you for free," because I would feel bad for taking their money.
Well, that's what I'm trying to remind you. Don't feel bad for taking their money. You have a great gift, and you should be rewarded for your tremendous gift. I know some authors who would love to work with you on children's books. So stay connected to Mrs. Reed and let us know when you're ready. We will definitely find work for you, no questions.
Great.
You might end up, segueing this into a career forever. Who knows? Could be a thing.
Heck yeah.
You absolutely, I can just saying, and everybody's accusing me of like booting Christopher out of the chat or something like that. But
No,
anyway,
he has to get up at 4:30 in the morning. He had to go to bed. He had to go to bed.
Boo-hoo. Anyway, no, honestly, just Mallory, please keep in touch with all of us, because what you do is amazing. And no, that's all I'm going to say. What you do is amazing. And all of us, I think, will be right there ready to just punch you right up to the top where you deserve to be.
Absolutely. Andrew.
Yeah, I noticed all the hand signals.
Andrew.
No, I agree. And, reach out to us when you're ready to have a little cash and a little fun. And I have several children's books that I've penned, and it'd be fun putting the art to them.
Yeah, totally. Just contact with me or my mom, and I'll hook you up with a cover.
Yeah, we can find you through Deborah. That's
well,
cool.
Or just filter it through Andrew, or through Deborah, because Andrew is not to be trusted.
Yeah.
Except that he is. Except that he is.
If I had
Mallory.
So
Mallory, here's the really big takeaway. You are now part of our community, whether you like it or not. and you're going to have authors knocking on your digital door saying, "Hey, we have stuff we'd love you to do."
Yes.
So feel free to join the Facebook page and just keep doing what you're doing. You're awesome.
Yes.
Thank
Mallory,
you.
you're amazing. Oh my goodness. And honestly too, and even just reach out to other people that are on the same age level as you, where it's like, no, you do not have to be ancient as me or Andrew. Andrew's ancient too. But just honestly, what you do is amazing. And you would be maybe a little bit surprised how many authors are so eager and willing and amazed to reach out to you and work with you and pay you money. Also, wait.
No, we're not going there tonight. Not going there tonight.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Positive. Okay, so before we get to the super fun part about the evening, although we've been having super fun already, here is a copy. Again, there's the picture of Chicken Butt Hair. And if you want to know where the title comes from, you got to get the book, because it's a really funny story. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Mallory. Very cool having you guys join us tonight. And thank you, Deborah, for bringing Mallory into our community. This is very, very cool. We are so happy. Okay. Christopher had to hop off. He has to get up before the sun tomorrow. But we are going to still give away books. That's what we do here. We give away books. Everybody's name is on the spinning wheel of happiness. Tonight, we're going to spin the wheel 3 times. First, we're going to give away a copy of Dennis's book. To remind you all, Takes More Than Hurt. Thank you, Dennis, for your donation of this wonderful prize. We appreciate that. Then we're going to give away a copy of Michael's book, Bad Hombre, White Lake Road. Okay. And then we're going to give a copy of Chicken Butt Hair to some special lucky winner. This is just, I got it. The cover art is just so cool. Okay, so we're gonna spin the wheel 3 times. The gremlins in the machine have still not helped me with my sound. So Andrew, you're gonna have to sing.
I am.
I can't get the sound to work. I don't know why. We'll have that conversation another day, but so here we go. I'm gonna spin the wheel. Can you see the wheel?
Why, yes. we can see.
Yay! So here we go. First spin for Dennis's book.
Just sing a song, sing out loud, sing out. Oh, we've got a winner. Maybe. Wow.
Look at that, right on the edge, Angela. See, this is why, Dennis, we use the wheel, because I have too many biases in my life. So I have to make sure that I don't interject my bias when we spin the wheel and give away free books. So Angela, congratulations. Okay, spinning the wheel a second time for Michael's book.
Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Oh, we got a winner.
Yay, Jim, congratulations. Okay, now the final wheel spin. You guys, I'm really sad you can't hear the music because it's this wonderful piratey thing. It's so much fun. But anyway, here we go. Final spin for Deborah's book.
Could it be? Oh, Diana got robbed.
Yay, Gary, you were making out like a bandit this month, sir. Okay, great job, everybody. Thank you so much for playing our silly little game. Now, you're probably wondering, how do you get those prizes? Well, Kate is going to tell you how you get those prizes. Go, Kate.
You want those prizes. I want those prizes. But I'm not eligible. But although you are, if you won on the spinning wheel of happiness, which, hello, is there a better place to be? Then make sure that you email Diana by midnight tonight. This is not flexible or negotiable. Make sure you email her tonight. Just let her know what your email address is tonight.
Mailing address.
With your
mailing address. I need the mailing address.
I have my glasses on. Give me a second here. All right. Send an email with your mailing address by midnight tonight to Diana@pagespromotion.com. Promotions.com. Diana@pagespromotion.com. Again, if you need me to repeat that, or if you need her to repeat that, because again, I have my glasses on, so that's the problem.
Just make sure you get it in by midnight.
Yes, please, because otherwise it will go back into the pool of people who are more than happy to claim your prize. But you want to claim that. Don't let somebody else claim that. You claim that.
So thank you very much, Kate. Since Christopher isn't here, I'm going to let you guys know about our opportunity to escape from the Isle of Mediocrity. This is our Life Raft lottery game we're playing. In the winning books, you're going to look for a Life Raft lottery. You're going to scratch off the sale. And if you're a winner, you will get one of these amazing bonus prizes at our Venetian night. And 2 of the prizes shown here tonight have been donated by authors who aren't even participating this year in this festival, because they just support what we do so much. So thank you, Ian Tadashi Moore, Jared Morningstar, Sherry Burton, Marianne Weiland, and I'm going to give away some of my books just because, I can. I have inventory. Okay, moving on. Kate, do you want to talk about this tonight?
I am going to do this very dramatically. Is everyone ready? All right,
go.
All right, there are super bonus prizes for 5 of our very, very brave Life Raft lottery winner. Yeah, you guys say that 5 times quick. All right, all you have to do is actually record yourself doing this, put it on the Facebook page so that people like me who have no talent whatsoever can judge you, because I have no talent whatsoever. But you're going to put this on the Facebook page. And here's the poem, which was just beautifully written by someone much more talented than me. That would
Not
be
so much.
Diana,
Not
much
so
more
much.
talented than me. Out of my window looking in the night, I can see the sailboat's flickering light. Starboard shines green and port is glowing red. I can see the sailboats straight ahead. Sailboats, are there treasures in your holds? Many trunks filled with silver and gold. Sailboats, are there filled or covered at your helm, bringing books for readers of our town?
So you're going to perform that poem dramatically,
Better than me.
costume, and you're going to paste it on our Facebook page. And if you do, you will be eligible for one of these super bonus prizes. And we're going to vote on these. The Facebook membership is going to vote on these videos. There's already a couple of them up. Andrew did one. Chelsea did one. Go take a look. They're super, super fun. But that's not all. Sir Andrew.
No, that's not all. Out of all the videos posted, we're all going to vote for the ultimate performance, and that person will win an astounding grand prize. We'll embrace the thrill of fear with a copy of A Slice of Fear by little old me. Then take it to the next level as you find your way to Barnes & Noble and spend your $50 gift card. Think about it, Malerie, that'll get a lot of stuff. $50 gift card on new books and pirate booty. But you're not done there. You have to eat and use your $25 American Express gift card for dinner, cool bookmark, nifty eye patch. You're all set. What better way to face your fears and move past it with books and your imagination?
Thank you, Andrew. We are tremendously grateful for your incredible generosity in this bonus prize. Thank you very much. As you know, or maybe you didn't know, our race leg last night ran aground, so we had to cancel it. However, we're doing this thing for the authors. Everybody who records the author that they came to see on their registration form, you probably noticed that when you signed up, they get points to move through the virtual race from Port Huron to Mackinac. Two of our authors, Christopher Gare and Deborah Reed, have already reached Mackinac, and they will get the snazzy finisher's medal you see there. The other authors are close at hand. These authors, the authors who finish the race, will be eligible on the spinning wheel at our Venetian Night Rat Party to win the Captain of the Fleet prize, which includes all of those snazzy things that you see right there. And then finally, last but not least, cute, Andrew, last but not least, we have the Harbor Store catalog. Kate, real quick, because we're running late, will you please let everybody know how the Harbor catalog works?
Everybody, if you are here tonight at the behest of another author or whatever you're here for, Diana has created a wonderful bookstore. I'm popping it into the chat right now, where you can go and buy their books. This is 100% supportive of the authors. This is not going any little tiny portion to Pages Promotions. Diana has very generously said, nope, this is all going to the authors. So what I just popped into the chat is going straight to the authors. Please feel free to go buy any books that you have any interest in, AKA all of them, and go grab them from that link. And that will all go straight to the authors.
Absolutely. So you can connect to the authors, their Facebook pages, their Amazon pages, their emails, and just support authors. It's a great way to get your Christmas shopping done early. So think about that. Okay, we're going to wrap up tonight. Our tradition here is final shots across the bow. Dennis Mellen, do you have any final thoughts, sir?
They find the unmute button first. No, I just am impressed with the family atmosphere of discussing books with everybody here, and enjoyed the back and forth between everybody. Thanks so much for the opportunity.
Well, consider yourself part of the community, consider yourself part of our literary family, and now you're stuck with us because now we're going to tell everybody about you and your books. So I hope that you will come back for our festival in October.
Yeah, I would love to apply for it. That'd be great.
Awesome. Awesome. We would love to have you back. Michael Beardslee, Shots Across the Bow, sir.
I enjoyed learning from everyone tonight. Just a lot of good information. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. We appreciate you coming back. We love return offenders. So thank you very, very much. Malerie Zupin, you get Shots Across the Bow. Any parting words, madame?
Thank you.
Okay, that works. Good luck in your future endeavors and your art career. Good job. Deborah, Shots Across the Bow.
I just want to say thanks for everyone who came out tonight and to listen, and also for all of you for just welcoming Malerie with open arms, because this girl seriously has some talent and is going to go somewhere. And I'm going to be one of the people who's going to say, I knew her back when. So just thank you for that. I appreciate it.
We appreciate the introduction. Thank you. Kate, Shots Across the Bow.
We all get autographed, customized autographed copies, let me just say. But this is what I love about this kind of community, is just that, yeah, I knew you when. I knew you when. That's all I have to say.
Awesome. Finally, Sir Andrew, Admiral of our fleet, because I couldn't do this without you, sir. Shots Across the Bow.
Kate, I knew you when. Oh, wait. This is great. And Malerie, I think that you've got a fantastic future ahead of you. And all of the people that are here, that are authors, may be able to start you out and put together a nice portfolio for you. And I think you've got a lot coming, and you've given us a new name for Deborah. I mean, she'll be Mrs. Reed from now on.
Yeah,
Thank
right.
you, Mrs. Reed, for bringing her to us. We love you,
Thank
Mrs.
you,
Reed.
Reed.
It's good.
Thank you,
Thanks, everybody.
everyone.
This was a good night.
It was a great night. For those of you who weren't able to see it, you're probably seeing it now on our YouTube channel. It is free, so check that out. Anybody who wasn't able to come that you authors may know of, or other people in the room may know who were not able to make it tonight, point them to our website so they can see all the replays. This replay will be available on our Facebook page tomorrow afternoon, as well as on our website. Thank you, everyone. Have an awesome evening.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.